This is a quote that I stole from dunnhumby, who are the people who operate Tesco's loyalty card scheme, and it really resonates with me because, frankly, it happens to us as a business. 80% of our hassle, 80% of all of our inconvenience, and 80% of our noise is made up from 20% of our least profitable customers. So if you spend an awful lot of time trying to appease them, before you know it, you've lost the other 80% of customers who are actually viable, profitable, and you can grow. Getting traffic's not as easy as I said for the long tail, and building on that, we actually, over our 2 million listings, split them into over 2,000 verticals. Actually, of those 2,000 verticals, only 700 of them have ever advertised with us, i.e. ever paid us money, and surprise, surprise, within that 700, 70 account for 80% of our revenue. So trying to do everything for everyone in every medium is not a business that I think we can win. I leave that challenge to other people, not us. And with that in mind, we've got a lot more prescriptive in what we sell and to who we sell. When I first started getting involved with the company, we would go and sell advertising to anyone. We're now a heck of a lot keener on selling it to certain people, in certain packages, in certain geographies, where we know we can deliver ROI. The days of just selling what you've got, your inventory, in my belief, are over. What it's all about now is adapting your inventory and being very prescriptive in what you sell. The other thing that really amazed me, and I was very inspired by the two speakers this morning when they were talking about what happens next in their businesses in terms of going from annual to pay-as-you-go, from paid by placement versus paid by results. In all of our research, we find that the customer is somewhat schizophrenic. They tell you they want certain things, but actually when you ask them the question again in a different way, they'll tell you almost the exact opposite. So questions that we asked our customers, obviously they wanted clear results, but actually they don't want to manage it themselves. I think this comes back to this ROI theory of everyone tells you they want ROI, but actually only 10 to 15% actually measure it, and I would totally support that in what we found. Actually, people really want paid on results. Why wouldn't you? It's the kind of alchemy of advertising. But actually, they don't want to pay as they go. Actually, they prefer an annual contract. Our advertisers, when asked, would you prefer to pay us monthly, quarterly, or just pay us once a year? The majority say, actually, I'd far rather just pay you once a year because I'm too busy running my business to think about whether or not I've topped you up for the next month. Every business wants a web presence, and what we find is, on average, our customers will spend £2,000 to £3,000 on building their website, if they have a website. They'll then give no consideration at all to how that web presence translates into a web business. So no expenditure on SEO, no expenditure on PPC, no real knowledge of any, and we all know that if you aren't on the first page of Google, you may as well not be on any page of Google. They want their business talked about, but actually would hate to have a bad review. That's a tricky one to handle. They want the most effective mediums, but you know what? They're quite laggardy in the way that they change from existing mediums. They want control, but actually, as I've already said, they don't want to spend much time doing it. So we find our customers have a total contradiction in what they say they want and actually what they really want. Thirdly, the customer is able to value what you do for them. Clicks mean nothing, calls mean everything. Currently, we sell our advertising packages based on clicks. Within the very, very near future, we'll start selling our advertising based on calls. Clicks mean absolutely nothing. I've got many examples of customers who have been delivered thousands of % excess of clicks, and when you phone them to say, are you pleased with your advertising, there's kind of ambivalence. In some cases there's real optimism, but sometimes there's total ambivalence. So calls are everything. This was another interesting thing that we picked up. Our SME base tend to think with their hearts, not their heads. We did a very detailed analysis of our cancellations and split the reason for cancellation into two broad buckets. The first one was, does the product work? And the second one was, did we show you much love after we'd sold you something, and was our after-sales support any good? And actually, 5 times as many people gave a reason of after-sales service as a cancellation reason as they did product working. So this is still a very tactile business in which you have to care for your customer after the sale. I loved the saying this morning, which I've already written to my company about, the drive-by shooting analogy of the annual sale. That really resonates with me, and that is certainly behaviour that I can point to in my company that I'm trying to avoid in the future, because I know it drives 5 times more cancellations than people actually worrying about whether or not the product works. When we do over-deliver, it's very rare that people will say, I associate real incremental value with that. So our game is all about delivering around about, or possibly up to 50% more than the customer wanted. What I'm failing to monetize at the moment is the customer who we deliver 2,000% more of. They just don't want to pay for that more. So there isn't a linear relationship between delivery and being able to monetize it. It's all about getting your average and your distribution around that average as tight as possible. As I've already said, the human sale is still incredibly important, and we employ a field and telesales team, and one person remarked that we were trying to fight a 21st century war with an 18th century selling technique. Actually, you know what? That's because it works. And whilst I would love to have a totally online product that is only serviced online and not have all of the hassle, all of the heartache, and all of the consistency issues that go with a field and telesales team, it really is the only way to do it at the moment. And actually, it's a significant barrier to entry as well, because people just can't go and start up without incurring massive expense field and telesales operations. So if you've got them, get them optimised and keep them for the time being, and we'll see what the future holds somewhere down the line. But right here, right now, they're essential to us. And as I've already said, it's essential to get people to help themselves. We have statistics on how many of our advertisers access their My Business section, which enables them to look at all their stats, optimise their keywords, change logos, add videos, write different descriptions. At best, 70% of our advertisers use it. So 3 out of 10 advertisers pay us money, in some instances quite a lot of money, and then go to no effort at all to make sure that they're getting the value out of that advertising. So you have to be very prescriptive, and we actively phone people, optimise it for them, and communicate with them about what more they can be getting out of our service. Fourthly, advertisers regard virtual advertising as virtual expense. I don't know how unique this is to the online part of the directories business versus the print page, but we have to be incredibly good at bad debt and cancellations, because churn in this business, and as I say, I previously ran a DVD rental company where churn was our mantra. When I looked at churn in this business, I thought I was looking at annual, then someone told me it was weekly. This is a really, really high churn business. You are continually filling up a very leaky bucket, and you have to be incredibly smart at managing your bad debt and cancellations, otherwise it inevitably will bite you. We also find it incredibly easy to missell what it is we do. So we'll go and see a plumber, he'll pay us €600 for a year, he'll click on the front page of Google the following day and